Motion passes 4-0. Continued business, discussion of the Southeast Transit Village Vision Plan. Wow, I'll say that 3 times fast. Elma, is that you? Okay.
There, thank you so much. As you know, back in the end of July, we had a public workshop. And as a result of that July 28th workshop, some of the attendees wanted to have a further discussion regarding the vision plan. And so this last week, Wednesday, on the 5th, we had a meeting with this ad hoc group. And this group was comprised of business owners and property owners that work and live in the Southeast Transit area. This was a good discussion. I think it went well, and staff believes that it was very beneficial for all those that participated and that were involved in that process. This week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have our consultant, Sergeant Town Planning, that is in City Hall working on an internal charrette, which is a very intense and focused design workshop with staff. And what they're doing are preparing solutions and different design ideas for this planning area. Some of the topics that they've been covering have been the multimodal facility, a circulation plan that includes design, street standards, connections to the surrounding neighborhoods, looking at bike paths, traffic calming measures, and different ways for the vehicles and or pedestrians to cross over the train tracks or go under the train tracks. They've also been looking at the open space network that includes the reshaping of the drainage, storm drainage, or possibly relocating of that drainage basin. They've also been looking at land use scenarios and different development potentials within that area. They're also looking at different ways to accommodate the California high-speed rail alignment if it comes through Lancaster. And then the other thing they've been looking at is public improvement funding strategies as well, because we don't want to just have a plan sit on the shelf. We want to be able to enact the ideas that come out of this plan. So a couple of things that are coming up. We have an event that's going to be the final community workshop. That's going to be on September 24th. It's a Monday. Sergeant Town Planning will also facilitate that meeting as well. And some of the things that they're going to be talking at that meeting is to continue rethinking about the Metrolink station as a pedestrian-oriented multimodal transfer facility, to establish better pedestrian, bicycle, and bus connections for the Metrolink station, to continue to introduce development in the plan area, and also to look at the options for accommodating the high-speed rail. So that's going to be, once again, on Monday, September 24th. It's going to be 6:30 to 8:30. It's here at City Hall in the EOC. Another thing that's going to be coming up is going to be, instead of your October ADC meeting being on October 4th, that is going to be moved and be held on Monday, October 8th at 6:30 in the EOC. And that's going to be a joint Planning Commission and ADC workshop in which the team is going to present the preliminary vision plan in a PowerPoint presentation. That's all I have. Do you have any questions?
Do we need to make a motion to approve that move of the meeting? No? Okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions? So there's no questions, commissioners? Anyone? No? Okay. Thank you, Elma. Continued business, or public business from the floor, non-agendized items. This portion of the agenda allows an individual the opportunity to address the Commission on any subject regarding city business. Under state legislation, no action can be taken on non-agenda items. Members of the public should be aware of this when addressing the Commission regarding items not specifically referenced on the agenda. Please complete a speaker card for the recording secretary. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. So this meeting is adjourned to Monday, October 8th, 2012, for the Planning Commission / Architectural and Design Commission Joint Southeast Transit Village Planning Area special meeting at 6:30 p.m. in the Emergency Operations Center at Lancaster City Hall. Meeting adjourned.
Electricity is a part of our daily life. At play and at work, we rely on electricity in nearly everything we do. And safety around electricity is essential. A downed power line could be extremely dangerous, so if you see one, stay clear of it and call 911. And stay away from power facilities, because contact with electric lines and equipment can cause serious injury or death. It's always best to be safe. Brought to you by Southern California Edison and Edison International Company.
The meeting to order, the Lancaster Neighborhood Vitalization Commission meeting. Today's date is November 6th. Call the meeting to order at 4:06 on that clock, so we'll go ahead and use that time. If we can get a roll call, please.
Commissioner Concepcion Harris. Commissioner Howard Harris.
Present.
Commissioner Hearns.
Here.
Commissioner Kiefer.
Present.
Commissioner Lawson. Vice Chair Moulton.
Here.
Chairman Derryberry.
I'm here as well.
We have a quorum.
And I'd like to invite our Commissioner, our Vice Chair Lisa Moulton, to do the invocation today. So, if you don't mind to do that.
You'll bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for today, Lord. We just thank you for the privilege that we have to vote, and we just thank you for that. We just ask that you be with us this evening and decisions that need to be made, and we just thank you for your presence here. In your name we pray. Amen.
And if everyone can remain standing and place their hand over their heart, repeat after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, as we can tell, I think everyone's at home watching the election results or voting. Downtown Lancaster has been pretty quiet today, as the restaurants were empty, and it's been everyone's glued to the TV or at the polls. So let's all do the same, I guess. So, public business from the floor. Do we have anything? No. So I've been told I don't have to read the disclaimer any longer. So we'll move on to the consent calendar. We have the approval of the Lancaster Neighborhood Vitalization Commission meeting from October 2nd. If everyone has had the opportunity to review that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Get somebody second.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, if we can all vote now. I can't imagine what the results will be. It's kind of like the election tonight, and then it passes.
Yeah, right.
Okay, next moving on to our continued business. As we all will remember, we had in September a special meeting to present the what we'll call the dog ordinance related to landlord-tenant issues. I spent a few meetings with city staff and the city attorney, kind of taking what we heard, at least from that meeting, to the city to try to draft this new ordinance in a way that I think responds to what the citizens of Lancaster were looking for, provides the city with an ordinance that supports what they're looking for, and kind of found a common ground. Did everyone have an opportunity to review the ordinance? Basically, kind of put it in, the issue that the city is looking at is they want to make sure that landlords are held accountable for what their tenants are doing. As you remember, the original ordinance provided for immediate liability regardless of the knowledge of the landlord. I think we were all pretty uncomfortable with that because state law is already in place that protects an injured party essentially for the acts of a tenant, so long as the landlord knew about those actions. So I think we took from what was presented to us by the audience that day, and we have memorialized an ordinance before us that basically says that if somebody is notified, the authorities are notified about a dog bite, that the authorities will notify the landlord, and once they're notified, they will receive a fine, subject to basically the city manager's office review of it. Basically, what we want to see is the landlords be accountable for their properties. If there's a dog bite and the landlord is noticed and takes response to the notice correctly, which is basically to remedy the problem, either remove the vicious dog or the problem that the dog that bit the individual or that the report was on, then there will be no fine for the landlord. With the notice, it also provides the city's it provides what the city's looking for, is that they receive notice and they are liable thereafter. So it's basically the first bite free. It's kind of the way it's written. So, the city attorney has done a good job. I think. I've gone over it a few times. I've had the meetings with staff. So, let's have a conversation and see if we're ready to recommend that it be approved by the council, or at least presented to the council.
Well, I'm in favor of it. After reading it, my biggest concern was exactly what you just spoke about, and that is that the landlord is actually given an opportunity to correct the problem, and that there is actually a situation where the landlord is made aware. And those two being corrected, I don't see a problem with the ordinance at all.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at, Mr. DeRico was able to provide us with some statistics as far as the number of reports that are made with respect to dog bites. I mean, it's not something that's going to be overly cumbersome on the city, but I think it will get us some traction. And if we have an absent landlord that doesn't really care, then they're going to be held monetarily responsible because the city will fine them. And if necessary, they will also be held legally liable for what happens the second bite, which gives everyone kind of what they're looking for. From a landlord's perspective, I think that it's a good ordinance because it gives the landlord the ability to, if they do, that they get notice as what's going on with their property. As Howard has told us, that a lot of times when you have tenants do what they want. So it gives us the ability to have a little more leverage with the tenants, to give us a little more bite. And I think after a while, that if people are constantly violating this ordinance, I think it will ultimately help improve the neighborhoods. So those are my 2 cents. I'm also in favor of the ordinance as well. So you're shaking your head.
I think that it's much better for everybody involved.
Anything from you two?
I think I'm just in consensus with what everyone's saying. It sounds like both sides get a little bit of what they want.
Absolutely. Anything?
No, it's much better than it was.
Yeah.
And we really needed to look at that, so I'm glad we did.
Well, obviously we're appointed here by the mayor and the city council to make recommendations to them, and that's really what we're here for today. We're recommending that this attached ordinance be approved, giving the city council the direction on how to deal with these landlords. So I'll entertain a motion and a second, and then we can vote.
I'll make a motion that the ordinance be sent to the city of Lancaster to be approved for an ordinance for the city.
I second.
Okay, let's entertain a vote. And the motion carries. So let's see what the council says about it. I mean, I think that the mayor will be very pleased with it. I suspect that there will be no change. I think that it's exactly what the city is looking for. So that's good. Obviously, today's a short meeting, so let's keep it going. Brenda, do we have any updates?
Just the Kaiser Weight of the Nation. Commissioner Lawson isn't here, but she did a wonderful job at that event at the college. And then Commissioner Kiefer was there as well. And if you haven't seen the screening of that, it's wonderful. It's very informational, and I recommend you see that. We're also going to be, or I should say, AVPH is going to be trying to bring portions of that and portions of other informational videos to the wellness homes. So that'll be really good to have for our community as well. The next event that's coming up is the City Hall tree lighting, December 11th. The Hoffman Hospice Light Up a Life, December 4th. That's after this meeting. So if you can stick around for that, that would be great. And then Magical Boulevard, December 8th. And then it's the new year.
Well, at least the city gave the staff a little bit of a break in November, so.
Exactly.
Because you guys have all been very busy. We have one attendee in the audience. Sir, you don't intend on speaking, do you? Do you want to? Oh, it's Commissioner Kiefer's son, so we're okay. So I'm also going to, in the interest of time and getting everyone back to their work so we can get home and watch the election results, I'm going to skip reading the public business from the floor disclaimer. And any comments from the commissioners? No? Well, thank you so much for coming. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Our next meeting is December 4th in the council chambers, and then at that point we can say happy holidays. So everyone enjoy their Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys back here in a month.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting, fastest meeting yet, at 4:17.